those things will not affect the implementation of the budget or attainability of the projections?
Well, I begin by saying that the budget estimates as laid by Mr. President for the fiscal year 2022 goes to show that the government is conscious of the times that we are in. That it cannot be business as usual. You either have to face, the realities of our situation, or you run away from them. That's one. Number two, this is the last budget that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari will implement fully. And it means then that for the administration, it has to be a budget of legacy. And that should be the desire of every right-thinking leader, in government today. Where did we go wrong? What is left undone? Where can we expand? If you look at the expansion, even in the figures, from 13 trillion to 16, point something trillion, is more because of the ambitious nature, of the administration itself. A number of programs and policies are going on aimed at giving governance a human face, for instance, through the various humanitarian affairs programs that are being implemented by this. There's a need to expand on this, and I know if you watch the midterm expenditure framework, humanitarian affairs sector alone is getting an additional 370 billion, each year in the next 3 years, to be able to expand, our social security programs in this country. These are things that you cannot run away from. Ours is an economy that just emerged from recession. And this is also following a very serious global, warfare, in the name of COVID-19. Every country of the world is thinking of how best, to, accommodate, such shocks in its economy, and also see how to prepare for the future. We are going virtual in virtually every manner of governance. Within the realm of e-governance, if you go around our ministry, departments, and agencies today, there's a need for every agency, to enhance, its use of technology. All of these are expansions that will cost money. If you look at the behavior of the Naira itself against the US dollars, a project that was awarded a year or two ago that is ongoing, today will cost much more money to even complete. And that cannot be an excuse for any project to become an abandoned project. You have to keep at it. And as much as possible, if you look at all the infrastructural development going on, especially take the rail, transport system and how much is being involved in it, and the many more that this government wants to implement within the next 1 year, you see that we don't have an option, than to expand this budget. How do you fund the budget when our, internally generated revenue is even dwindling? Becomes the next question. Definitely, there's a need for us to work more, to be able to, block leakages, and as much as possible also enhance the internally generated revenue agencies that we have to ensure that we're able to do better. And also to pay attention to local politics too. We go to the Niger Delta area, address some of the basic issues that are agitating the minds of the people. Today, oil prices globally are going up, but we are making less money. It should be good news that we'll be making more money because prices of oil are going up. If we projected, something and oil is selling for almost double the price, we should be. But we also projected 1.8 barrels of oil production per day. Today it has fallen to 1.2 million barrels per day. That shortage is as a result of sabotage, agitation going on in the Niger Delta area. So rather than us making more money from that angle, taking advantage of what's happening in the international oil market, because we are falling low on production, we are not able to take advantage of that. That's another area to really look into. And then finally, of course, borrowing. We are all concerned about the level of deficit. We are concerned about the level of borrowing. But the question also to us is, what is the alternative to it? We have two options. One is to fold our arms, refuse to borrow money, just live by our entirely generated revenue, in which case we are only able to pay salaries as a government. All right? We have to abandon all the infrastructural development, which we cannot afford to do, because that will create more problems. Nigeria is not the only country borrowing money. We are all members of our IMF, we are all contributors to World Bank and all of that. You know, other countries are borrowing. Nobody prayed for COVID-19. It came and devastated the world, devastated the economy, paralyzed businesses, paralyzed economies of nations. Every nation must, by some ingenuity, find a way of coming back, on its feet. And Nigeria cannot be an exception. What is important is, what are we doing with this money? We will not support a situation where you borrow money to fund consumables. It's all about funding our infrastructural development, which is the way we can continue to spend our way out of recession, which is the way we can continue to ensure that money percolates through every strata, every stratum of the economy, and of the society. These are issues that we need to continue to deal with. And for us to also ensure, as a National Assembly, as elected representative of the people, that all these monies being appropriated are applied as appropriated by the various MDAs, of government. And finally, as we shut down by next week and spend the next 2-3 weeks, attending to ministries, departments and agencies that will be coming here to defend their budget, for us to ensure that you are not only coming to defend 2022 budget, but more importantly, you are coming to give us a full report of implementation of 2021 budget. And if there was anything that was outstanding even before 2021, in ensuring that money is not going down the drain. So all of these are factors that will help to reshape this economy. But as far as I'm concerned, we're on a path of progress, and we have to continue to fight, two major wars. One is the war that we can see against terrorism. That was why we had to approve a supplementary budget of over 800 billion naira. The other major war that we are fighting as a nation is the invisible war, of COVID-19. With all the new variants that are coming, we must not be left wanting. We have to protect our people, and ensure that whatever it takes, even if it means expansion of our budget, that we do this to be able to deliver.
Thank you very much. It's gratifying to know that the 2022 budget will concentrate on completion of some of the infrastructural facilities that are being built. There's no doubt that we are passing through economic recession from the presentation of Mr. President's budget, but it's equally good to know that the executive are very conscious of the need that our effort as a government must be towards building infrastructural facilities that will help to galvanize socio-economic activities. We cannot be out of economic recession. We cannot meet the need and the aspiration of Nigerians in a depressed global economy than to build infrastructures that will open up the economic activities of the nation and make Nigerians to get to understand that our currency can only be strengthened by the level of our productivity. So we must look at how we are going to increase productivity that will enhance exportation. When we have good goods and services being exported, then our currency and our economy will improve. And from Mr. President's presentation, they are very much conscious of that. So the economy is going to be better next year because effort is being made. And I'm happy that the benchmark is put at $40 per barrel. We hope that the benchmark may get to $100. The crude oil may hit $100 per barrel. But having $40 per barrel as the benchmark is really good for us, so that we can look at how we can be more prudent in the management of resources, but more importantly is to open up the economy so that there can be increased productivity and increased exportation of goods and services.
Thank you very much, sir. Reaction to the 2022 budget, which was just laid a few moments ago.
Yeah, well, for me, I think Yes, I think that the president laid a pretty concise plan on various areas, and the problem has never been the plan, has never been the ambition and the aspirations. The problem has always been in the implementation, and so I hope that a lot of the lofty goals that the president laid out would be implemented the way in which he laid it out. For instance, he talked about issues of diversifying sources of funding, taking a lot of things off the budget and going to PPPs. That is a very lofty goal. He talked about infrastructure development. He named some critical infrastructure projects that he believes are essential and he wants to complete before he leaves office. These are good things, but the issue is the implementation, and I hope that at the end of the day, all these things will be carried out. The implementation will go the way he's talking about it.
Thank you very much.
Ask all to agree with what Mr. President has just told us. One is a statement of fact that this budget, which is being proposed for 2022, is the very last budget that this administration will see from the beginning to the end of the budget cycle. The budget that's going to follow this, that's the one for 2023. We will not be in government for the 12 months of 2023. So some other administrations, some other legislators will see the beginning but not the end of that budget in terms of physical, annual budgeting and implementation. So the emphasis on this one is there are projects that this administration initiated which have been started. This administration is committed to completing those projects so that those projects don't run the risk of abandonment if and when we leave the stage, which is unfortunately a culture of in this country's governance. We want to be at this level. So the emphasis is to complete what we've started and to initiate those that are of necessity to be started, so that the manifesto, which is administration, use it to capture the kind of support that we had to get elected in 2019 would be met.
Thank you very much.